guys, it's Carly again, back with another video, and a couple videos ago I did my top 10 favorite all-time horror franchises, so I thought it would be kind of cool to go through and just rank the movies in those franchises from worst to best. So I thought I would just start out with what my number one franchise was, which is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and just go through and say which ones I feel are the worst and which are the best. So I put them in order from which ones I dislike to the ones that I like a little more, and I'm just gonna go right ahead in. And this one shouldn't be any surprise, but at number 7 I have Texas Chainsaw: The Next Generation. Some say this is a part 4, some say it's a remake. I kind of consider it like a parody type remake of the original because there are a lot of similarities. And this whole franchise is kind of weird, like all the movies are almost remakes because continuity is weird, the storylines are weird, but it is what it is. Yeah, when I was younger, like I thought this movie wasn't too bad. I would see it on TV all the time. It seemed like they always played this one for some reason. And I didn't think it was too bad, but then I got older and I watched it again and I realized it's complete crap, pretty much. Matthew McConaughey is probably the only one who's really trying in this movie, and even that kind of makes it comical because it seems like he's a good actor among all these people who don't really care. But yeah, that's why this is at my number 7. It's really not a great film. And then next, I put Texas Chainsaw from the year 2013, I believe this came out. I don't dislike this movie at all, to be honest. Like all the movies besides part 4, I really do enjoy. The only problem with this one is obviously the timeline. Everyone knows it doesn't really make too much sense. But I do appreciate how they tried to link this to the 1974 original and make it kind of a sequel in a way. Yeah, I don't have too many problems with this, but for list purposes, it's probably like one of my least favorites, so that's why it's at number 6. Then number 5, we actually have part 3. This is a really good movie, but the reason I have it so low on my list is because I've only seen it one time. Reason being, it was never really on TV or anything, and I would never really see it at stores. Like I just recently found it last year, finally, to complete my collection, and I really did like this one. I just feel like I haven't seen it enough times to be a huge fan. So that's why it's at number 5. Then next up we have the beginning, the prequel to the remake from 2003. This came out in 2006, I think. I always found this one to be pretty brutal, more brutal than the remake was. And it's a really good movie. I think it's a really solid prequel for the remake, and I do enjoy the remake a lot. So this one does a good job of kind of showing the beginning, I guess you could say, as the title suggests. Yeah, I do like it a lot, but I like the remake a little bit more. So that's why the remake is next up on the list. I never really liked this like cover and box setup. I just think it's too big and doesn't really look good on the shelf. And I bought this used, so it's all beat up and falling apart. But anyway, like I think this is a very solid remake. In my opinion, one of the best remakes of all time. It's not a lot like the original at all. It's kind of got its own little story going on, which I do like when they do that. Like, I appreciate them changing it up. The acting's really good, and I think Leatherface is very scary in this movie. It's one of those movies that actually I've had bad dreams about and keeps me on edge, so that's why it is number 3. And then at number 2, we actually have the original from 1974, the original classic, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is a special edition. Don't remember where I got this. I think it was given to me, but yeah, my dad showed me this movie for the first time when I was like 13. I remember being really excited because my mom never wanted me to really watch this one because she doesn't really like gory movies and she thought it would be too gross for me, but I really like this. I love how it's filmed in that kind of like almost, it looks like kind of bad quality, like weird way. I've always loved that. And the girl who plays Sally, her scream just sounds so realistic and scary. So that's why it's my number 2. I know some people, well, most people would put that at their number 1 in the franchise, but if you watch my top 10 or top 5 personal favorite horror movies, you would know that part 2 is actually one of my favorite horror movies of all time. And I haven't even seen this movie that many times, but it's one that I can rewatch multiple times, which that usually constitutes a movie and gives it the ability to be in my top 10 or top 5 if it's rewatchable for me. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just like a really fun movie, and I think the comedy isn't too much. Like, it's kind of more of a silly type. It's got like silly moments in it. It's not really like straight up trying to be hilarious or anything. And I still find it to be kind of scary, honestly. So I have respect for that. And I like the radio station setting. I don't know, I always thought that was kind of a cool place to set a movie. It's not the whole movie, but I do like the parts with that. So that is why that is my number 1 on the list. So to recap, part 2 is my number 1. The original is my number 2. Remake, number 3. The prequel, number 4, prequel to the remake. Then number 3 for the original series. Then the, I guess, sequel set way later for part 1. And then lastly, of course, the next generation, whatever you want to call this one, is last on the list. So thank you for watching. I'm sorry about the glare right there. The sun is shining through the windows, but I hope you liked the video, and I will see you next time.